wanted to ask you some questions about space. There was a Advancing Space Australian Civil Space Strategy 219 to 228. Is this still part of the... Is this the government's policy?
So that strategy was put in place under the previous government, under the National Plan for Space, and the department was provided funding to put together further work, the Space Strategic Update. That process was not completed prior to the change of government, and that work program has not continued since. So in that sense, it was suspended. I'll just ask if Mr Palermo has got anything else he'd like to add.
Just in relation, just to Secretary, if I may, on the Australian Civil Space Strategy 2019 to 2028, it was published in 2019. It can still be found on the Department of Industry's website, the agency's sub-website. So the Civil Space Strategy at this point has not been revoked, but at some point it will be due for refreshing.
Well, but it runs until 28.
So, absolutely. So, but strategies get changed and updated all the time.
I understand that. But so it is the policy of the government?
So it hasn't been confirmed by this existing government.
But it's on your website?
That's right.
That's good. So if a government agency has a policy on its website, would that be usually considered to be a policy of the government?
So we have material on our website from previous governments, so it depends a bit on the status of the particular document.
Okay, but is this a current website that stakeholders would go to, or is it an archived website on Pandora?
It's a current website.
Okay. So how are we tracking against the objectives in that strategy?
So the strategy had 3 phases. We're in phase 3 of the strategy, which is implementation. Stages 1 and 2 set the conditions for growth, and stage 3 has elements such as workforce development that we're working on, facilitating investment in the sector, and that can point to government policies such as the NRF. So we continue to exercise our role to coordinate activities across government. Those core functions of the agency were retained, as was covered before, in the funding for the agency in the budget.
Okay, so I think, am I right in saying that one of the obligations the government has set for itself is in relation to Earth observation?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand what you mean by obligation, Senator.
Is it something that is in this strategy?
Earth observation, as a priority for the nation, predates the strategy. We use Earth observation for multiple industries, agriculture, mining, resources, and we've done that through long and enduring partnerships with our international partners.
Okay, and what's happened to aid Earth observation in the past 18 months?
We've continued to strengthen relationships with partners to secure access. So in the last 18 months, we've maintained access to satellites such as Sentinel-1 through CSIRO. Our partners at Geoscience Australia continue to evolve the data set and programs like Digital Earth Australia. So there's many facets to sort of the treatment and processing of Earth observation data today.
Okay. The report sets out that there is to be a update every 2 years on progress towards the goal of tripling the sector's contribution to GDP, which is $12 billion, and to create an additional 20,000 jobs by 2030. Has one of those reports been generated so far?
The last update, I don't have the date here, I can take it on notice, but we have published 2 of those reports to date, the economic analyses.
When was the last one?
I'll take that on notice to get the accurate date for you.
So do you think it was in the last 18 months?
No, Senator.
Okay. Has there been a draft report produced in the last 18 months? It's in the agency.
We have done economic analysis on the sector, working with across the department, AID team. So yes, we have done analysis on the state of the sector and how it's grown.
And has that been given to the Minister or the office?
We have provided advice on the state of the sector and how it's tracking against various objectives, yes.
Now, when do you think that will be provided publicly?
Not sure.
In some form?
I'm not sure. We do provide advice on it across all of our industry sectors on a regular basis in terms of how they're tracking in terms of employment and any condition impact of various things. So happy to take it on notice.
Thanks, Ms Quinn. Thanks, Chair. I believe Senator Hughes has